Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on the video and welcome to the channel. My name's Kevin and today's video is about the gear that I'll typically take on a multi-day hiking trip, a wild camping trip. Myself and a friend are attempting a route known as the Welsh 3000s. Traditionally the route is done as a kind of an ultra marathon fell running challenge, which they try to complete in 24 hours. The route itself takes in 15 of the highest summits in the Snowdonia National Park. It's also commonly done as a backpacking route over the course of about 3 days, which is what we're choosing to do. And I just thought it might be of use to somebody to show what I'll typically take on a trip like this. Now, it's Snowdonia, so for anybody who's not from the UK, it is typically wet. It's known for being very wet, and we're now well into autumn, so we're expecting probably at least 0 degrees at night, Celsius that is. So I've packed accordingly, and I thought it would be of use to people to know what I will typically take. So I hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to jump in and I'll show you what's in the pack. Right, so this is the pack that I'm going to be taking. This is a Lowe Alpine, what's it called, an Airzone Pro 35/45. Just generally, it's a great pack. I've used Osprey packs. I really like Osprey packs and many of the other brands, but for some reason I keep coming back to it. It's comfortable to carry. The benefit of it being a 35 litre pack, but it has a kind of a gusset section on the top, which can give you an extra 10 litres of storage, and then the lid is extendable. The straps on the back extend so you can lift it up, which gives you that extra sort of room if you need it. So it's currently in its kind of 35 litre setup. But then if I, for some reason, need to carry something out, or, you know, I don't know, carry extra food or something like that, it gives that kind of flexibility to do it. So it's a traditional sort of style of pack. It's got a pocket on the front, flat kind of pocket underneath this bungee sort of area, which is good for maps and things like that, easily accessible. It does have a large zip on the side, a waterproof zip I might add, on the side, or I don't know how waterproof these are, but I keep everything in dry bags anyway. But there is a zip on here, so you could access things inside the main body of your pack if you wanted to. Personally, I've never found any use for that. It's got the kind of sort of typical bungee strap system. Sometimes that's a mesh pocket. Pros and cons to both, I guess. The bungee sort of system is much more hard wearing. The kind of stretchy mesh I've seen on some packs can get quite damaged on there, so you don't have that problem. There's some kind of ice axe hangers and things on the bottom, and places to hang your poles and things like that. If I spin it round, kind of normal size pockets on the side, stretchy mesh pockets on both sides, and then the back harness system is one of these air mesh sort of style systems as well. Right, so if I get into I think all the stuff on the outside to start with, I'll go through that. So the first thing is these waterproofs. I've got both trousers in here, just in a little stuff sack. They're just cheapy waterproof trousers. I've never found it's worth spending the money. I find them all a little bit sweaty and do everything I can not to wear them anyway. So those are in there, nondescript. This is a Rab waterproof jacket. I think it's called the Firestone or Fire something or other. Waterproof Gore-Tex type jacket. Snowdonia is likely to be wet, so that is a necessity. Then strapped on the outside, Lecky walking poles. When I first started hiking, I was determined not to use hiking poles, and you soon realise, because I thought I looked like a bit of a prat if I'm honest, but soon realised that they are a necessity. And also for safety as well, coming down off some of these high peaks can be quite slippy. There's a lot of shale and things, so having those just makes it that little bit safer, but also saves your knees and falling to pieces on the way down. Water wise, this is a 1.5 litre, just a generic water bottle, which I'll use for if I want to carry larger quantities. I've then also got a smaller bottle which I'll carry. I've got one of these CNOC, I don't know, CNOC outdoor water bladders. This is it's a 2 litre water bladder, but it attaches to a Sawyer Mini, which means that if I want to carry some dirty water, or when I'm filtering water, I can do it using that. Anything else on the outside? Yeah, if I just flip this up, you'll see I have adjusted my back system slightly. This is just a simple, again, nondescript kind of generic water bottle with a sports cap on it, but then I've got one of these little clips, so I could get that clips around the neck of the bottle, and then on my harness I have a piece of bungee and then a strap, so it just stops that from bouncing around when I'm walking, so I keep that on there. I've got a sit mat. I don't always take this, but being so wet, or likely being so wet, I will probably take that with me. Spin around to this side. So on the other side, I've got my cook system. I prefer alcohol stoves. I like the speed of gas, but I hate the sound of it like roaring away. Getting into tranquility and the great outdoors, and you've got to listen to a Bunsen burner. So that is spare alcohol. That is 250 millilitres, which should be more than enough. So this is my cook kit. Everything's self-contained within this bag. The first thing to come out is this is a Speedster stove. I came across this a few years ago and love it. It's absolutely brilliant. It works a treat. It's small, it's compact, and it's lightweight. So it comprises of this windshield, which when you look up close has these little pot stands inside it. It folds up, it clips together like this, and then inside it has these little pot stands which fold out, and then there's a cutout on this side which allows it to also be a pot stand, a wind protector as well. So lid for a 750 milliliter titanium pot, which contains everything inside it that I use. So there's a bit of tea in there, there's coffee separately in my bag, there's a lighter in there, there is another, I think this is 125 mils of alcohol. I probably don't need both, but this is how it would kind of usually be used if I went on a shorter trip. So that will last me probably a day or possibly 2 days at a push. There's just an old sort of balaclava in there for mopping up, cleaning, drying, things like that. And then this is the small alcohol stove itself, the pot. So the Speedster stove just consists of a lid and a base, and inside the base there is a gauze and a wadding. So you pour your alcohol in here, put it underneath the pot, obviously light that, and then the cup, the cup just slides in and rests on the windshield. So that's the outside of the pack. I'll just quickly go through. I won't go through the total contents of the two hip belt pockets. One side I keep basically snacks. There's also a little mini tripod in there for my GoPro. So that's just, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about five little cereal bar, kind of protein bars in one side, and the other side is kind of small bits of gear that I want access to. So this side has got a midge net, a head net, there's some lip salve, there's a pair of sunnies, there's a snood in there, or neck gaiter I should say. I also pull that over my head at night if it's cold. It's nice, it keeps you warm, your face a little bit warmer. There's a pair of thin sort of sun gloves in there. When I'm using trekking poles for a long period of time, they can sometimes sort of blister on the insides of your hands, so they're kind of useful. And then there's also a couple of bases there, it's not going to work, yeah, for the bottom of my trekking poles, just in case I'm walking on tarmac for any period of time. They can become useful, so I'll throw those back in there. And there's loads of room still as well. So in the front pocket, I've got a little wax canvas sit mat. I find this useful just to pop down inside the kind of vestibule of the tent, just to kneel on, or just to put things on top of if it's wet grass and things like that, and it weighs nothing. So, but again, I've kind of got two sit mats. So I was saying earlier about things I may not necessarily, people could probably get rid of. Don't think there's anything else in here other than a compass. There will be a map in there as well, obviously. So that's the outside of the pack. In the hood, or the top, should I say, there is a possibles pouch in here. So this is my possibles pouch, or electronics pouch if you like, kind of day-to-day kind of stuff. There's definitely some luxuries in there. There's a little lantern in there. This thing's brilliant. I forget, it's made by Black Diamond, I think it is. It's got a lock on it. It does multiple colours, not that I know any reason why you'd want multiple colours. It's rechargeable and dimmable. It's got hooks on it so you can hang it from the roof of your tent, and then it's also magnetic as well. So yeah, it's nice. I really like it actually. It lasts for absolutely ages. I think it's something like 40 hours or something. It gives off more than enough light for what I want. I have got in here a Petzl Ticker headlamp. I've got two of these. I think they're brilliant. They're not the brightest, but they do everything that I've ever wanted to, and I've done some night hikes with them, so yeah, it's fine. Red light, SOS, and then it's got a dimmable main light. It's got 3 settings, which is more than enough. And then I use the Petzl Core rechargeable battery in there, but you can put 3 AAAs in there as well. That's that. Toilet business and earplugs. I like to wear earplugs at night. The noise of flapping tents and stuff just tends to keep me awake. What else have I got in here? Got a charger, and there's also this is a 15 milliamp hour. There's no chance I can read that because I've just got that torch in my eye, so all I can see is a green blob. Charger, I think that's 15,000 milliamp hour, and then the cable from my phone. There is my Sawyer squeeze, water filtration. I don't know why that's in here actually. There's a battery in here, shouldn't be in there, but we'll remove that. Spare lighter and some Vaseline. So that is the contents of my kind of in-tent possibles pouch. Pack all that back in there. There is also in here this is a little first aid / essentials kit. So there's some toe warmers, foot warmers in there for an emergency. Pepto-Bismol or Rene, they're called Rene, they're called. I always say Rene for some weird reason. Don't need those safety pins. There's a little Swiss card, Victorinox Swiss card classic. So it's got a knife and fork and stuff. Sanitizing wipes, burn gel. There's a little mirror there. medicines like painkillers, little wound pouch, plasters, Compeed, and then there's also a Thermarest patch kit in there as well. And then there's also a drone in here as well, so and electricals, I should say, inside this pouch. I don't think there's anything else in here. Yeah, there's a little pouch here with batteries, spare batteries in it, and then there's a DJI Mavic Mini in there as well. That is, and then I think there's a little piece of paracord. I keep a little piece of paracord in there. That can be useful if you want to make a little washing line, or my tent door. You can use one of the trekking poles to hold it up a little bit like an awning, and then you can use that as a little guy rope. So if you've got a bit of wind or something, you just add a little bit of protection. And the only other thing in there is my titanium long reach spork. That is it. So that is the contents of the top. We get into the main pack. So the main pack has, just I might as well go through it as I'm going, a lid, a pocket in there, which has a clip in. So that's perfect for kind of wallet, keys, that kind of stuff. I tend to put things in there when I get out of my car. When I get there, lock my car, put things in there that I don't want to lose, and then it will stay in there for the entirety of the trip. There is a strap on here, which allows you to sort of pull everything down tight inside the bag, and then this is the additional kind of gusset section that I mentioned earlier. So this is 35 litres. This would give you 10 extra litres if you went all the way to the top, and then the hood can then be raised up to go even higher to allow that extra storage. There's two straps, and then inside, first thing I have in there is my tent. This is the Terra Nova Pioneer 2. It's a 3/4 4-season tent. Yeah, I've decided to go for luxury. This is one of the items that I've kind of packed to give myself a little bit more comfort. I have got a little MSR NX Solo, which would be much smaller, but I decided to go for comfort instead. The next thing in here will be food. So I've got a food bag in here. This contains, I won't open all of this, but this contains I think there's about 5 porridge sachets in there, and then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of dehydrated meals of varying flavours. There's also a couple of MRE isotonic type drinks in there as well. I just find after, at lunchtime or something, warm up one of those, a bit of warm water, put one of those in there, gives you a bit of energy. It's something a bit sweet, which is quite nice, and then it'll also give you some kind of electrolytes and a bit of energy, for the afternoon if you're flagging a little bit. So that's that. There's some coffee in there. All I take is the grounds. I'll add those to my water and just bring them to a simmer. I think people will say you shouldn't do that, shouldn't be boiling, but that's what I do. Then cowboy coffee. So all you do is you leave it to steep for a little bit, and then you hold on to the bail handle of your cup and you just drop it, but not actually let go, and it makes the ground sink to the bottom, and then you can then pour it out into your mug. So that's in there. Pair of gloves, waterproof. These are actually mittens. These are made by Trekmates. They're waterproof on the outside. They are fleece lined, but on the inside, rather than being a mitten, they're actually a glove liner. So they've got individual fingers inside here. I like gloves, but I prefer the mittens for kind of keeping me warm. So it was a kind of perfect kind of mixture, and then they're waterproof as well, so if it does get really cold or anything, I've got that to keep my hands warm. Right, what else we got going on in here? So a little hygiene pouch, I believe this is. Yeah, there's some deodorant in there. Then we are getting into sleeping. So this is a Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm. It's the large version, which is, I'm fairly small, I'm 5'8", so it's a bit of a luxury. And then it's wrapped up, which is a waterproof bag in its pump sack. So I've got that. Clothes bag. And then down in the bottom of my bag, we're now getting into the bits that I don't want to get kind of wet. These are just pushed down in there as well. These are my tent poles for the Pioneer, and there's also pegs in there, and there's also the pole repair kit. And then the final thing is inside a Cuban fibre dry bag. These are my kind of sleeping articles, if you like. So this is definitely a luxury item. This is my blow-up pillow, which is the Nemo Philo Luxury, and it's the larger size. So this is a fairly recent purchase, but for anybody who doesn't sleep well in tent, I tell you now, I'm typically a hammock sleeper. This thing changed everything. So this is an air bladder in the back. It's also got these this kind of strap system in the back, so you can stuff clothes down the back of that, and it will make it a little bit thicker if you want it to. But then it's got an air bladder inside, which is topped with memory foam. So there's some soft memory foam on the top of the air bladder, and it is amazing. Being that bit bigger as well, it's slightly larger than most pillows. Obviously normal pillows are kind of this size. It just makes all the difference. I never lose it. It never slips off the pillow or off the mat. It's amazing. So that is that. And it has got a stuff sack, but I just tend to fold it over and push it down inside. The next thing is puffy jacket in there. Obviously thermal jacket. It's going to get cold. I've got multiple layers, but then that is a major thing that I definitely don't want to get wet. And then this is my sleeping bag. So this is the Thermarest. This is a Thermarest Questar. It's the 20F. So it goes down to 0 degrees. Again, this thing is incredible. For anybody who doesn't like sleeping bags, look at the Thermarest Questar bags. They're wider cut. They have no insulation in the back, because that's provided by your sleeping mat, so that cuts down on size. They're wider, so you don't get caught up in them, but they're also got straps on them that attach them to your mat, so you can roll over in the night and then the bag doesn't go with you. I love it. And I don't like sleeping bags, but I love that thing. It's brilliant. What else we got in here? Sleep socks for the end of the day, self-explanatory. And then in the bottom of here there's a change of clothes, which is also a thermal set. So these are merino wool top and bottoms. And then the final thing, I got another double pillow, Kev, yeah. So this is a Trekology, I think it's called the Luft or something like that, but it's the Mark II version, so it has the strap. So I strap this to my sleep mat, and then the other one goes on top of that. So you've got 2 pillows. It's like being at home. It's brilliant. And that is it. That is everything. So that's the entirety of the pack. I'll check the weight in a minute, and I'll chuck that up here or somewhere. Yeah, what could I... So there's certainly things in there that you could probably cut out and get rid of. But I want to be comfortable. I want to eat well. And yeah, I just don't want to worry about being wet and, you know, uncomfortable.
So at this point I started waffling on about God knows what, so save you that pain. There's me just repacking the bag. I'm looking forward to the trip. I actually leave for the trip today. It's a couple of days later, so I'm just finalising this video and getting it put together for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got something out of it. If you want to give it a click, a comment, you know, whatever, that would be much appreciated, but I won't ask you to do that. Yeah, if you've got any comments, questions, you know, about anything, then by all means fire them down in the comment section. You'll notice if you look back on previous videos that I'm pretty good at replying to everybody, I think. Thanks for watching the video. If you made it this point, props to you. Thank you very much to everybody who's liked, commented, subscribed, etc. in the past. And over the next couple of weeks, there will be some videos of the actual trip to Snowdonia. So if you like that kind of thing, maybe think about clicking on that subscribe button and watching along in the future. So thanks to everybody, and take care of yourself. Big love. Ciao for now.